Good morning, everybody. I say welcome to the fourth skills webinar of the Fit to Bid programme. There was a slight change. I hope it didn't cause too much confusion because it was originally supposed to be tomorrow and it was changed today. The reason behind that is that the Heathrow Business Summit is happening tomorrow and we're actually there as one of their partners. So apologies for any last minute sort of changes that you were not aware of. But anyway, good to have you all here this morning. And the purpose really of today's webinar is to talk about pitching your business when you meet the buyers. So some of that will be for maybe meeting the buyers. We've got a Meet the Buyer event coming up this week, but also for when you've submitted your tender document and then that response, and you then follow up, or with a bit of luck you get invited in to actually pitch to the buyers. So without further ado, we'll move on. So I think most of you have met me already. I'm Tracy James. I'm the program manager for this South West Herts program. I'm a business advisor. I have been for the past 10 years. I work with Brand and Business Support. I've delivered a few different programs for them now, mainly Fit to Bid programs, and I also run my own business consultancy. Essentially, that's what I do. I work with small businesses across London and Hertfordshire and the surrounding counties. So that's just a little bit about me. My details are there should you need them, but I'll show them again later on throughout this session. So how to submit a winning bid. Many of you from the previous webinars, you would have seen this slide, this methodology. So this week we've got the Meet the Buyer event coming up on Thursday. Some of you would already had some tender advice sessions, the one-to-one sessions, and we're kind of sort of sitting here at number 3 at the bidding skills. There are other workshops within this program, and those will come after the Meet the Buyer event next week, and that will complete the program really by the end of the year. So that's where we currently are. And then we'll move on to, yes, this Thursday. It's come round so fast. Thursday, 13th of November at Shendish Manor. Hopefully, most of you are booked on. You will be attending that. It says time 2 p.m. for arrival, 2:30 start. If you can, please get there as near to 2 o'clock as possible. We've got over 135 companies registered for the event, so we want to make sure that we can all get in, get a tea or coffee, sit down and get ready, because we will be kicking off at 2:30 p.m. sharp. We've got a lot to get through. It's going to be a big event, so if you can get, parking is available at the venue, so do get there as close to 2, so we can get you all in and seated, ready to start. And then you'll know that some of you will have received a link to book your one-to-one meetings for Thursday. But again, I will come on to that slightly later. So essentially, who are you pitching to? This slide is a generic slide. We will have the local authorities there from the 4 local authorities, Watford, Dacorum, St Albans and Hertsmere. And from each of those councils, there will be different departments that will be represented. So great opportunities to speak to your local authority, or if it's not your local authority, one of the other council departments there. It's a great opportunity for you to meet with them. Of course, we've got the anchor institutions there. We have Heathrow Airport. So this is a generic slide. University of Hertfordshire are not with us. Neither are the NHS, but we do have some other great local buyers who I will come on to later on. And again, there will be a 2 or 3 construction industries present as well. So it's going to be a great opportunity. So that's for this Thursday. And this presentation today, so it's kind of twofold. It's a little bit about preparing yourself for Thursday, but also when we're kind of going to focus on when you've written a, hopefully you will, fingers crossed, you will you apply for a tender, you've written your response, and this is sort of focused on when you're actually sitting then with the buyers face to face. That's your kind of opportunity to pitch the business. So in this scenario, we're looking at, you've made it through that maybe pile and you've been invited in to actually have a conversation, that face-to-face conversation with the buyer. So one of the things so there will be time for questions at the end as well if you want to ask me any questions or contact me afterwards as well. I will keep an eye on the chat as well. Okay, there's some, okay, I will come to some of the chats in a little while. It's just me, so I don't have anybody reading the chat in the corner here. It's just me, so I'm trying to do both at the same time. So the objective, what is the objective of when you actually sit down and you're face-to-face with the buyer and you're pitching to them? So essentially what you need to do is kind of reward your audience for allowing you to pitch. Very few people actually get through that process. So many people end up on the not today, thank you pile, and very few end up on the, maybe let's have a chat with these people, with this business. So you need to reward them when you actually pitch. So essentially what I mean by that is that it has to be a good pitch. And then, the objective is you want to get through to the next stage. You've managed to get through through to the first step, and you want to get through to the next stage. That's the whole purpose of doing this. And then, obviously that's the objective. And what do you personally want to get from your pitch? And I'm guessing probably what you really want is that you want the order, you want the contract. That is what you actually want to achieve from the pitch. But it might be a case where actually you've put this tender document forward. You've applied for the tender, but actually as a business you're perhaps not fully there. So it might just be a case where you think, well, it's an opportunity to have a deeper discussion to find out more about whether it's a local authority or it's a private entity, find out more about what they're looking for, and you want that kind of deeper discussion. Or it might be a chance to bring in one of your team, one of the experts to speak to their team, again, depending on what the actual contract is. So a good pitch, and some of this you will already know, but a good pitch has to be well structured. So you'll need to think about it before you actually attend that appointment. And then again, if you've got wearing two hats today, you're thinking a little bit about when you're actually pitching one-to-one with somebody who's invited you in after your tender response, and another one for maybe Thursday, because many of you I know will be the first time that you've actually sat down with a buyer to have a conversation with them. And you've got 10 short minutes and those 10 minutes go very fast to actually get your point across, get your pitch right. So a good pitch is, so it's got to be well structured. It's often a follow-up to your tender response, and it's got to be something that will wow them. And we will come onto this over the next few slides, because you've just got that short time to make a good impression. So something that they will look at and say, actually, this is, we need to have another conversation with these people. And there's just some little sort of diagrams down here in the bottom. And again, we're going to come on to this over the next few slides. It's looking at your value proposition. What is your value proposition? And if we've not been through that with you already, either through the one-to-ones, and we've touched on it a little bit in previous webinars, we'll talk about it a little bit more today about your value proposition. And then your SWOT analysis. It's great for every business to do this, and it's something you can do after the session today. What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses, your opportunities and your threats? Have this all in your mind when you're actually sitting down and presenting to the buyers, and then we follow up with a action plan. That's something we'll come on to shortly. So, what is a pitch? Essentially, it's just a sales opportunity, isn't it? It's a conversation. There's two types of conversations. There's one to somebody that knows you. So potentially you may have had some crossover or worked with them in the past, or they just know of you sort of through your reputation, you're well known, or somebody you've actually never met before. So a completely cold lead. And what we're focusing on really is the face-to-face. That's what this today's session is all about. It's a conversation. It's having that conversation that's going to make a difference. And if it's not great, then it's it's bye-bye, adios, see you, no thanks. So you have that one chance to make a good impression. I mean, an example use of one-to-one pitch is engaging with procurement. That's exactly what you're going to be doing this week. Just to cover some of these that you may already do. There's other ways which what could be deemed as being a pitch is printed flyers or leaflets, brochures, etc. So you'd have one of those, and that would go to many people, tens, hundreds, or even thousands of people. It's written once, it's easy to distribute, and it's easy for the recipient to keep. It can be difficult to make relevant to everyone, and of course it can be easy to throw away. Quite often we get lots of things that come through the door. Quite often some you keep, you think, I need my guttering fixing, that's great, but there's other things you might think, no, I don't need that, so it's discarded. And again, those, I guess, literature, you can use it at an expo or trade stand. We've all been to the trade shows where we come away with goodie bags full of leaflets in brochures and goodness knows what else. Some of them stand out and you think, oh yeah, that looks really good. Others, they don't, they just get binned. So, again, it's making, if you are doing that sort of pitching, as it were, it's making it something that stands out and looks nice, that people want to read. Social media, of course, lots of us are on social media. Again, it's from it's one to many hundreds, even again thousands of recipients. It's written once, easy to distribute, and you get national coverage or even global coverage depending on your business and who your audience is. Of course, it has to be read on the phone, but it's gone, isn't it? It's gone tomorrow. That's it. We get bombarded with all of this every day. Unless it's something that is consistent and you see it every day, so people are constantly seeing your messaging, so you're reinforcing that messaging. And some of you may do webinars. Again, the audience are there because they want to hear what you have to say. So many of you have signed on today, so I'm hoping you'll get something out of today. So be kind to me. I hope what we go through today will be valuable for you. It does take a lot of organising, and there's a cost factor in that. And so one of the examples for that again would be something like this, Fit to Bid, but you may run your own webinars as well. But the key focus is it's that one-to-one conversation. Once you've got through all of this, whether it's your flyers, your social media, or your webinars, what you want is that one-to-one, face-to-face conversation with somebody to then talk actually about what you do and what the next steps are. So what is a good pitch? There's pitches, there's good ones, and there's bad ones. Essentially, it's a story that your or your potential customer that they want to hear. It's got to be something that excites them, really. So for a good pitch, what we'd say is, excuse me, for it to be well received, you must know your audience inside out. So we say research, 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 and do some more research. If you're looking to pitch to sort of local authorities, evidence is very transparent on their websites. You can find it in local publications. You can find anything on, because the government organisations, they have to be fully transparent in what their values are, their purposes, what developments are happening, what they're looking for, their social value. All of that information you can find quite easily on their website. It's out there for the public to have. For sort of private entities, it's slightly different. Really, all you have to go on is their website, and you can Google, you can find it. Depends again which industry you're in. If it's kind of construction, you can see what projects they have in the pipeline. For other industries, it's not quite so simple. But all we say is find out as much about them as you can. You know, what their ethos is, what they've got, their plans are, who they are as a business, what they want to achieve, what their sustainability views are, social value. Find out as much as you possibly can, because it will come in useful when you are having those one-to-one meetings. And again, you tell them what they want to hear. Okay, it's your value proposition in their language. It's not a case of, yeah, we can do this and we sell that and we make this and we're passionate about what we do. They don't want to hear that. They want to hear about what the benefits are to them, and something that's kind of maybe unique to them, and how they are going to benefit. So think about that's what they want to hear. If you put yourselves in the shoes of a buyer or procurement team, and you'll have this anyway when you have people maybe phoning you up trying to sell you stationery or whatever it may be. There's some people you work with and some people you don't. So think about those reasons why you buy from this person and not that person, or this business and not that business. What are the reasons why? And what is the value to you as a business? So you kind of flip that around, and now you're doing the same thing when you're meeting the buyer. And it's a headline first, and that'll be explained a little bit more as we go along. You have that headline first. It's not introducing yourself and the business name. It's captivating them with a headline that they actually want to hear. And above all, they need to trust you above all others. They need to say, right, okay, yeah, these guys and girls are great. We trust them with what they're saying. So it's understanding about them and their needs. So it shows you've done your research, shows you're interested in what they're doing. You understand what they want, what their pain points are, what's great, what's happening well for them. You've done that background work. And then in that you can deliver what they are actually asking for. And of course, rehearse it before you deliver it. We keep saying on about this, rehearsing. So it might be a case of just, we don't want it to be robotic, but it's just knowing what you want to say and how you get that across. On a one-to-one meeting, if you've been invited in, post-tender response, you'll have a little bit more time. At a Meet the Buyer event, you've got 10 minutes. So it has to be really succinct and to the point and quite sort of captivating. So do rehearse it. If you have to stand in, talk to yourself in the mirror, or, walk around the office or your kitchen or whatever, just, with a colleague, just rehearse it. So sometimes you know what you want to say, but when it actually comes out your mouth, sometimes things come out differently than what you had intended to say. So just, if you can, just try it and rehearse it. So we're going to do a quick exercise here. We're talking about the elevator pitch, a bit of a sort of overused phrase really, but it is essentially is that pitch, isn't it? It's what people buy from you in that first instance. So if you'd like to write down I'm happy if some of you want to share this in the chat, write down your business's core service or product. What is it that you deliver, that you sell, that you manufacture? What is your core service or your product? And identify that unique selling proposition, that USP, a bit of an overused phrase. But what is it? And some things are actually not unique, but it may be how you position it or how you deliver it that is different to your competitors. Something that will excite your audience. And who's your ideal customer profile? So if some of you just want to see, you can write that down. I'll just drop something in the chat and we can have a quick look. Yeah, somebody's put here actually, just to check we haven't submitted any tenders, so they don't know anything about us and are seeing us blind. Yeah, that's absolutely right. So that first impression really needs to count. Some people saying you haven't received booking links. Okay, booking links. Some of the booking links, this is for the Meet the Bar event. I would just say to you that if you haven't received a booking link, do not worry, because there will be an opportunity for you to, on the day, to, we've got walk-in appointments as well. So if you haven't pre-booked your 10-minute session, there's a few pre-booked appointments available. If you've not had a link or you've not had an opportunity to do that, don't worry, because on the day you will get the opportunity to meet with the buyers, because we have the walk-in appointments as well. So let's have a quick look. So yeah, plane of India. We regenerate and transform old playgrounds and muggers to create top community inclusive spaces designed to tackle physical inactivity. Yeah, okay, yeah, that's great, Marco. Yeah, and it's kind of the benefits from that. Yeah, so you are talking about, you know, that sort of physical inactivity. Of course, that's aimed at children. We know, today a lot of children are spending a lot of time on their phones and they're quite sedentary, on their iPads or watching TV. They're not up and out and about. So really kind of focus on the benefits of that, so that you actually get the kiddies up and out and about. Yeah, decluttering services. Yeah, okay, that's what it is. Again, think about those benefits and the benefits of decluttering, what that actually provides once a place has been decluttered. Yeah, and developing high-performing leaders and teams through evidence-based education. Yeah, that's a good one, Sarah. And yeah, increasing engagement back to 40% and driving measurable performance. That's what people want to see. They want to see the actual kind of benefits of the service that you are offering. What are the outcomes of that? So that's great. So yeah, so if you haven't put anything on the chat, just do this as an exercise. I can take a picture of the screen. Do this as an exercise later on. Okay, so again, we talked about researching your target and sort of getting inside of their head, because you're actually going to be meeting a person. It's not sort of anything that's kind of AI generated. You're meeting a person face to face, and as we know, people buy people. And essentially, what you want to do, you want to, when you're meeting somebody, you want them to not have a confused or frowned look upon their face. You want them to actually kind of have a smiley look on their face. What actually kind of makes them smile. Kind of who are they? In the procurement teams, they will have their targets as well, and it's kind of what do they get paid for? Who's their boss, and what do they get paid for? And what are the values of that organization? What is it that makes them tick? What are they looking to do? And again, that could be something where they're meeting targets in perhaps sustainability or social value. They need to improve their processes or reduce costs, whatever that may be. And what are their values? What is important to them as an organization? What is the culture of that organization? So you've got different ones here, because particularly we're looking at Thursday's event. You've got local authorities, and then you've got private sector, complete range, which I'll come on to shortly. We've got a complete range of buyers there from different industries, and all of the cultures of those organizations will be different. What's important to one is going to be completely different to the other. So it's understanding who they are, what their culture is, and what they want to do, and what would make a big difference to them. It's understanding what actually would make a difference to their organization. Okay, so that's the kind of face, you start off with a kind of a smiley face, after you've had the conversation with them, it'll be great if, say, they don't look confused or bored or you know, I would say we are bored or confused or a little bit frustrated. This is the kind of face that you want to leave your potential, you know, your buyer with. So they're excited about, yeah, actually we can work with these people, because what they're delivering is something we need, and we know we can trust them. So, you know, it helps them sleep at night as well. So that's what we're looking for. So when I speak to the buyers on Thursday after they've had their meetings, I want to see lots of smiley faces just like this. I don't want to see anybody who's bored or confused or perplexed in any way. I want to see happy smiley faces. So that's what we need to do. So the value proposition. So just bear with me, let's have a quick sip of water. The value proposition. I know some of us during our one-to-ones, we have spoken about this and we've touched on it, as I said, in previous webinars. Remember, it's not just about what you sell, and it's not just about the price either. Oh yeah, we lay grass, but we do it at the cheapest price. It's not just about that. It's more than that. And those of you, some of you will have seen it's something called the business model canvas. I know some of you are aware of it. Some of you have not done a model canvas before. Essentially, it's a document that's broken down into these 8 or 9 different parts. You know, it talks about sort of key partners, key activities, you know, the kind of feasibility, you know, can we actually produce it? Or, you know, the viability, can we actually make money from this? But the number one question is desirability. Why do they want it? And then what we'll focus on, because, you know, you can have, you may deem to be the best product or service in the world, but, you know, if nobody wants it, then you're not going to make any money. And you know, you have no business. So the value proposition is what we're going to be looking at here. Okay. So what is it? At its core, it's what you do. It's everything that you do. And quite often when we speak to clients about this and say, okay, tell us what you do, and they say, okay, yeah, we make the good old classic, the widgets. Yeah, we make widgets. Okay, that's great. But think about everything else around the widgets that you make, the team that make the widgets, and the process of making the widgets, how they're packaged, how they're delivered, when you receive an order for your widgets, what's your turnaround time in responding for that, what's any kind of sort of follow-up you do. It's everything, the team that you have around you. Are they trained? Are they qualified? You know, as a, you know, your premises, are they, you know, inspected? Are you an award-winning company? Everything you do, you need to think about. It's what you do. And quite often people don't think about it. We say just write it down on a piece of paper. Absolutely everything you do. You may be a small business. It may be 1, 2, 3 of you, just a small team. So you don't have a big sort of production or manufacturing team. It could be something, you know, your business may be something else. But what is it that you do, and what are the benefits to your clients for what you do? So again, so think about everything: your response time, your delivery time, how you deliver, the team you have, do you have any awards? Anything around that all adds to your value proposition. Again, as it says there, it includes your strengths. You know, what are you good at? And so this is where we say the SWOT analysis comes into place. And it's great to do that. What are you good at? You know, identify your weaknesses as well. Obviously, you don't put that in your value proposition, but it's just good for you as a business owner to know, you know, what we're not so great at, and actually how do we improve that. And you'll realize once you start doing this that there's a lot more strengths than most people give themselves credit for. And it shows, it's what shows you to be better. What is it that you deliver that your competitors are not delivering? So have a think about that. And then you modify it to be in the language of the buyer, the person that you're speaking to. You would have done all your research beforehand, so you've done that. And if it's worth a lot, then put a lot of effort in. If it's a contract that's going to be worth, I don't know, £5,000, probably not going to spend 12 months putting something together for a contract of £5,000. You may, I don't know, but particularly for good use of time, if it's a contract that's worth it, then you put the effort in. That's all we say, because procurement teams, they can see through when people are winging it. No matter how good you might be at winging it, they'll see through it. So that's what we say. If it's worth a lot, put a lot of effort in. And again, think about this, everything you do, what is it that you do? So it brings us on to actually the next exercise. We don't have to, again, this is something to take a picture of. You can do this, take it away and do this. It's a why us challenge. So list one reason why a client would choose you. Why do they choose you? You may know why a client chooses you over your competitors, and so happy if anybody wants to put something in the chat, then feel free. But why should a client choose you? And it may be a case of asking the client directly, because sometimes they may not always give you the truthful answer, but you can ask a colleague or somebody else to ask the client, oh, why would you choose them? Why do you work with them? It's interesting to get this understanding as to why clients should choose you. And think of a recent success story or testimonial. Again, this will be useful when you're actually face-to-face with the procurement teams. And as mentioned before, if you won the previous sessions, then you will know that any sort of case study or testimonial has to be recent. Recent time, we say no more than 12 months old. And again, it needs to be relevant. If you're speaking to somebody in healthcare or in construction, make sure that testimonial is relevant to the contract that you're actually that you've applied for or that you'd like to achieve. And write a brief statement. So you don't have to do this now, you can do this later on, but write a brief statement on your commitment to quality. What is it that you actually deliver? What quality? What commitment? Are there maybe aspects of the business you think actually, we fall short a little bit on delivering this level of quality? Or you might be, you may see there are some room for improvements in the quality that you deliver. So again, write a brief statement on that commitment to what you do. You're committed to delivering quality. And again, so that could be a case that, you answer emails within 2 hours, 3 hours. A company I was dealing with just this week sent an email and said, thank you for your email. We endeavour to respond to you within 5 working days. That's not a commitment to quality. That's just shocking customer service, because you can't speak to them on the phone. You have to send an email, and 5 working days, by the stretch of anyone's imagination, is not a commitment to quality at all. And note down one aspect of your customer service that is excellent. It could be, here it says here about, reflect on how you maintain client relationships post-sale. So, it could be something that you do post-sale, it could be something that you do pre-sale, or throughout the entire contract. Do you check in with people? Do you get feedback? What is it that you would consider customer service excellence? And again, let's say we're sort of reflecting on the client relationships post-sale. Do you follow up with them? It may be, you signed a website, but you don't have the maintenance contract afterwards with the client just said, I just want a website. Do you check in with them and say, how's it working? And which, checking your analytics or whatever it may be. It might be a case that laid some patio or done some sort of construction work, and just check in afterwards. Do you actually do that? Do you check in afterwards, after the sale, after the contract has been delivered? So it's just some of those things. It's just an exercise to do, to sort of think about what it is, the why us. Why would people choose you? If I were a buyers, I was part of the procurement team. What is it that you would sell to me that I would choose you? What sets you apart? So it's quite a good little exercise to do. So structuring your pitch, okay, so it needs to be logical for your buyer. Right? So you want to start with a big headline, and as I said previously, there will be an example of this. It's quite a bold headline later on, but start with a headline, something that's going to grab their attention. Give them facts to give credibility to support that headline. So it may be a case of I can reduce your costs by X amount. Okay, so how are you going to do that? Right? But wait for their response. One of the things we say here is not to go in blah 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 because they'll just be overwhelmed. So you give sort of, give the headline, wait for the response, give the facts to give credibility to support that headline, wait for the response, and then anticipate what they will ask. But if you've done your research, then you may know what they're going to ask. And then respond to what they said, and depending on what they ask you, you respond to that. And what you're trying to create here is that you're building trust. Okay? You want to reassure them that, yes, we can deliver that, we can do that, and these are the reasons why we can do that, and this is how you're going to benefit. And they steer towards the objective of what you want out of this. And again, company name and your name and company name need to be there. But essentially, we say, keep that in the small print. It's not in that first sentence. Oh, hello, I'm Tracy, I'm from Brandon. Yeah, okay, so what, we've got no time here. It's talking about what you're going to deliver, what you're going to do. It's something, if you think back to the little smiley face a few slides ago, that's what you want to do. So when you sit down with somebody, you don't want to see the heavy eyelids. You want to see that smiley face where what you're saying suddenly piques their interest. And they're like, right, okay. And as we say, again, wait for them to respond and wait until you're asked questions. I mean, you can, your ebb and flow with the conversation. You'll know what we tend to recommend is that you give them the opportunity to think about what you've said and then ask questions rather than just going straight in with, bombarding with information. Okay, so delivering your pitch, again, so it needs to be enjoyable, it needs to be exciting for the buyer. When you're, again, sort of two scenarios here, when you've been invited in sort of post tender document, the original tender document, they may be seeing 3 or 4 that same day, people that have been invited in. So you want your pitch to be enjoyable. It's got to be exciting for them. So after they've seen the 3 or 4 people that day, they'll remember my colleague always refers to it as sort of a yellow briefcase. It's something that kind of stands out. I'm not saying you should go with a yellow briefcase, but it's something, when you're thinking about your pitch, think of it as a yellow briefcase. It's something that's going to stand out from the others. And again, at the event on Thursday, there's 135 businesses registered. So the buyers on the day, and I see this from the previous events we've run, by the end of the afternoon, early evening, they're quite exhausted because they've spoken to so many people. And I often follow up and say, how was your meetings? And they say, oh yeah, there's 1 or 2 that were really good, that really stood out. We really kind of want that to be a bit more than 1 or 2. So you want to be one of those ones that actually stand out. So make it enjoyable for them because they speak to so many people. It's got to be something where they're just not kind of looking at the watch and thinking, when can we get through this? I have seen it happen, and I've seen people deliver their pitch where they literally, it's just like da, 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 da. And the buyer's just sitting there thinking, right, okay, just see the look on their face, thinking, when will this be over? So don't make those mistakes. So as I say here, be confident, be upbeat, have real kind of positive energy about yourself. So you would have done your research, and so you should have enough kind of strong answers to reply to the questions that they actually ask you. again, say look professional. So I don't want to sound patronizing to anybody, for what you do, and be dressed appropriately. How you look will be how they perceive your solution as well. So we're saying if you're doing something maybe for children, or you're working in with youth, you're probably not likely to turn up in a pinstripe suit, because that wouldn't really give a perception of kind of who you are really as a person and what you deliver. But again, we would say don't, even if you're in construction or building, still be smart. Don't turn up in 10-year-old joggers with paint stains on them, because yes, that is what you do, but you still need to look professional. So sorry if that's patronizing, but I have seen people dress who sort of raise a little bit of an eyebrow and think, okay, you're meeting with procurement teams here, maybe could be a little bit more professional. But I say it's look professional, but for what you do. So it has to be aligned with what you do. If you want to wear, if you wear jeans generally in your day-to-day life, that's fine. Just don't have stains on your sweater. You kind of get where I'm going with that. Okay, be relevant to them. Talk about the benefits, not the product. Okay, so I know we keep sort of hammering this home. They're going to buy the benefits. You'll deliver the product later on, but they're going to buy the benefits. So you need to keep that in mind. They anticipate their questions, any reactions they may have, and have your answers ready. And of course, there may be a situation where you don't have the answer, but that's an opportunity to say, well, actually, I can follow up with you, and I can come back to you on that. Just be honest, just be real and authentic, and just your real kind of genuine self. I know some people have not done this before. They've not met with buyers face to face, and can find it quite nerve-wracking. But it's fine. They're just human beings, and all you're trying to get across is what you do. Again, let's put this here before again. Build trust and reassure them. Be open, honest, and truthful. Just be who you are. And we had that on the last slide actually. So that's a repetition of the previous slide. Yeah, don't worry about your name and who you are. It's just that can come afterwards. It's the benefits that you're actually delivering. Okay, so another quick exercise. I am conscious of time actually we've gone through, but a quick sort of market analysis actually. And if you want to put something in the chat, you can, or take this away and do this with you. Identify a key trend affecting your industry currently. There's no big prizes for saying AI. We know AI is affecting a lot, if not most industries. But what impact actually is that having on your industry? How is this trend? It could be something else that, a lot of businesses now are saying that, social value, that's a big trend, and sustainability. Sustainability is huge. So many businesses, particularly big buyers, will be looking at SMEs who have a focus on sustainability. So that's something, if you've not even ventured down that path yet, that is something that I would highly recommend that you start considering as if you want to bid for these big contracts. Sustainability and social value. Sorry, that's a key thing. Yeah, so have a think about how this whatever the trend it may be, how that actually impacts your business. And again, think of one way to capitalize on that, on this trend. I think there was a case going back when the good old mayor of London decided to put up all his ULEZ cameras all across London, and for some businesses that was great. So for people sort of in the electricity, people who build the cameras and everything, for them that was actually a trend that went across across the whole of London now. For some businesses who were quite sharp, thought, okay, actually, yeah, we can capitalize on this, whether you agree with them or you don't agree with them. I think maybe some hardware stores also capitalized on that, because a lot of people were actually cutting them down. But yeah, just have a think in your industry. What what's trending now, what the new trends are, and how you can actually make that work. And again, write down any potential risks that this trend poses to your business. When you say AI, some people say, yeah, it's great, it works well for their business, but others saying actually it doesn't. It actually presents a real risk. It may not be AI, it may be something else that is relative to your business. So have a think of that, and then consider a quick response strategy to this risk. So I said that's something that you can. I'm just going to quick chat here. Supply chain risk is a big trend. What's that? Do you think most of the large business will be represented by the procurement teams on Thursday? Yes, they will. They will be having their procurement teams there on Thursday, ready. So I'm just having a quick look in the chat. Yeah, that's great. And real influence people actually following. Yeah. Yeah, interesting comment there from Sarah. Yeah, about hybrid work, generational differences, burnout. Yeah. Yeah, mid-level leaders are overwhelmed and underdeveloped. Yeah, often promoted for technical skill, not people leadership. Yeah, fully agree with you there, Sarah. Yeah, so there are some yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, PwC study, 73% of executives said poor leadership cohesion was their biggest internal risk, higher than tech disruption or compliance. Yeah, it's interesting. So yeah, so have a think about that and how that actually affects your business and how you can actually sort of capitalize on that. So just something, an exercise that you can take away and you can do. So case study, I mentioned to you earlier on about a case study. So this is a very, very well-known high street supermarket. I'm not going to give you the name, but you know, it's one of the big names. And this was a opening line from somebody who, a supplier who wanted to work with this particular supermarket. Hi, I think I can save you £9 million a year. Oh, wow. I think anybody's going to respond to that. So that was an opening line. And this is the backup to back up the work that you've done, the calculations. I've done some calculations based on what I've been able to research. I think you spend an order of 25 million per year on refurbishment of store fridges and freezers. I can do it for 14 million. Okay, so you've instantly, so they've got that smiley face. I don't know, is that right? Okay. This sounds interesting. You can do that. These are the advantages: emptying of freezers, decommissioning of equipment, completed overnight, so no disruption to stores. Would that be of interest? Well, what do you think? Of course, it's going to be of interest. And can I show you my figures? So their response clearly was, yes, please, I'd be interested in saving £9 million a year. Actually, as the conversation went forward, this person showed the figures, waited for the response. So they sat there and had a chat about the figures. And the response from the team at this supermarket was, I'm sorry, but your figures are wrong. I was thinking, oh my goodness, I've made a complete mistake here. It's nearer £12 million a year that you could save me. So there you go. We've got the smiley face again. There you go. That's great. So £12 million. So he could almost halve their outgoings on the work they had to do around their refrigerators. So you acknowledge and you move forward. That's great. Can I revise my figures and play them back to you? Yes, one would be good for you to come back to me. Revise figures. Response. Day after tomorrow would be great. Okay. Thank them and depart and get back to your office and get working. The objective is met, isn't it? Lots of work to do the next day. That's an actual case that happened. It was a colleague of mine. That's the actual case that happened. He saved, him and his team saved one of the high street supermarkets £12 million a year. So that's what we're talking about when you're saying it's a headline that's quite sort of, you know, it produces that kind of smiley face. Right, okay, this is what you can do for me. So kind of think along those lines. So in conclusion, just practice, use everything that you've been given through these workshops, these programs that you're on, and everything from the webinars, so you can go back and watch the previous webinars, the information you've had through your one-to-one sessions, if you were lucky enough to have a one-to-one session, and the Meet the Bar events. Really, so if it's the first time you've ever done this, just go. If you want to use it as a kind of fact-finding mission, you do that. It's a great opportunity for you to meet people face to face and just kind of understand what this is all about. Use the tools that have been provided, either the model canvas or the SWOT analysis, and don't forget you're selling to a person, so your pitch must be personal. Yeah, so we practice it, but it's got to be really personal. From here, we say create a top 3 action plan. Go away from today. That's it. Just get a piece of paper, write out your top 3 actions that you're going to do over either this week or next week or the coming month to get your business into a position where you can confidently pitch for business. You can meet buyers face to face and you can confidently pitch. So go away, do that. So we've got this session after the Meet the Bar event next week. There are another 3 skills webinars. These are superbly valuable, really are. So you've been through the introductions about writing the sector, the bids and the tenders, what to do, understanding your value proposition. The next 3 go into a little bit more detail. They're delivered not by myself, but by my colleagues of the Brandwin team. Please note the dates. There shouldn't be any other changes now. I know the dates was changed, but so we've got one next week, the 20th, the 27th, and then the 4th. Links will be sent out to you automatically. You do not need to register for them, but if you can, do attend these other webinars. As you know, embedded learning, all the previous workshops are on our Brandwin YouTube channel. So just go into Google, just put in Brandwin Business Support YouTube channel. You'll find any past recordings from our previous webinars will all be on there. This recording will be uploaded. I'm not sure when it will be, probably not in time for Thursday this week. I don't do it. Another colleague of mine looks after that. But it will be. There is one there actually under Watford, which was delivered previously. So it will contain sort of similar content and information, but you can go into there. Those of you who had the one-to-one session, you had an action card. Revisit your action card from the points that were discussed, and if you haven't actioned anything on your card, do go back through and review that and see where you need to put things into progress. And again, maybe even undertake a SWOT analysis. Simple to do. You can do it on one piece of paper this afternoon. Won't take you long to do. You can speak to your team about it if you have a team, or if you work by yourself, and then just sit down and have a think. And you can always share it with somebody else. Share it with a colleague or a friend and see whether they have any comments on it. It's really useful to do. And again, learning resources, all of these will be available to you at the end of the programme. And there's an ebook, a guide for SMEs. So all of these will come out to you, all these guidelines, which will help you. They're very, very useful. So do keep them to hand later on. That's that. Yeah, this is, some of you would have seen this before. These are the Meet the Buyer events that we've already delivered. We've delivered quite a few now, and they're always so successful. And we're quite excited about Thursday coming up. Heathrow Business Summit, that's taking place tomorrow. Some of you may have registered for that. If it's the first time you're going, again, it's a great event, great to connect with Heathrow. They will be with us on Thursday. So we're a partner with Heathrow, as you know. So tomorrow promises to be another good event. Right. So just a reminder, it's 13th of November, this Thursday, 2:30, 5:30. That is 2:30 start prompt. So please, if you can, arrive by about 2 o'clock. And just to finish up quickly, I want to leave a minute or so, so if you want to ask me any questions, or you can contact me afterwards. This is who we are expecting. Unfortunately, I think Watford Community Housing Trust may have been a late dropout. I'm not sure if they're going to be there, but this is who we are. So we've got the 4 councils: Heathrow, Morgan Sindall Construction, Cardo Group, OSD Healthcare, Elysian Residences, Kedrion Biopharma, Fairbank Studios, another construction, Barnhill Construction, Millcock Construction, and OMA Studio Group. So quite a range of businesses will be there. They're all fully invested in this. They want to work with local SMEs. So it's we're so delighted to have them all on board. It's the biggest event we've organised. Usually we have sort of 4 or 5 buyers, but and unfortunately we did have 2 or 3 drop out last minute, but I think there will be great opportunity for you all. So meetings, these will be the time slots. Do keep to your 10 minutes, allow everybody else to have the opportunity as well, because you will then be able to follow up with the person that you have spoken to after the event. And if they can do it, so can you. Some of you would have seen this slide before. These are companies that have been through one of these programs with us, and they have won contracts either with local authority or private buyers. So it's real, it does happen, and you can change your business. It doesn't happen overnight, but it does happen. So they've done it, and you can do it too. So that's my details there. Yeah, Tracy James, my number, my email address. As I said, I will be at Heathrow all day. Actually, it's not Heathrow, it's at Twickenham, but it's the Heathrow business event all day tomorrow, and I will be at Shendish Manor on Thursday. Do come and speak to me if you can. Come say hello, and let's get you supplier ready, and let's get you winning some contracts. So thank you for your time today. So we're pretty much out of time. If there's any questions, please pop them in the chat, or do email me on the my details are there. Do email me, and happy to help you. But thanks again. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you've learned something, and I hope you feel energized, ready for Thursday, or when you actually do get your invitation to explain your tender in more detail face to face. And it'll be great to hear your success stories. So thanks again, and I wish you all a lovely day. Speak to you soon.